There's this incredible tension right at the heart of Exodus chapter 31. It's a real paradox. On one hand, you have this divine call for the most amazing, inspired, and demanding work you can imagine. And on the other hand, a command for absolute, total rest, no exceptions. So how do those two things possibly fit together? Let's jump in and find out. So it really gets you thinking, doesn't it? What does it actually take to make a space sacred? Is it all about the expensive materials, the gold, the fine-spun linen? Or is it something else, something deeper? As we're about to see, the answer lies in this powerful mix of God's inspiration and our obedience. Everything, and I mean everything, kicks off with what's stated in Exodus chapter 31, verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying. And let's be clear, this isn't some casual suggestion or a general thought. Nope, this is a direct divine commission. The entire project starts with the very voice of God. And you've got to notice how personal this is. In Exodus chapter 31, verse 2, God says, See, I have called by name Bezaleel. He doesn't just put out a general call for a skilled craftsman. He calls out the specific man he has chosen. It's this individual summons, which really highlights how important each person's unique part is in the bigger plan. So you might be wondering, how in the world are these guys prepared for a job this huge? It's not about their resume or their past projects. As we're about to find out, their incredible skills are a direct gift from God given to them for this exact purpose. Well, the source of all this talent is laid out for us crystal clear in Exodus chapter 31, verse 3. And I have filled him with the Spirit of God, in wisdom and in understanding. I mean, that's just remarkable. It's saying that the very same divine spirit that was there at creation is now filling a craftsman. It shows that artistic and technical skill can be just as much of a spiritual gift as something like prophecy. But this was no one-man show. Exodus chapter 31, verse 6, tells us that God also appointed a partner. And I, behold, I have given with him Aholiab. And not only that, but that same verse says God put wisdom into the hearts of all that were wise-hearted. So this wasn't just about a couple of geniuses. It was about empowering a whole community of skilled people to come together for this secret project. And the to-do list, wow, laid out in Exodus chapter 31, verses 7 through 11, it is absolutely staggering. We're talking about the whole shebang: the tabernacle, the Ark of the Testimony, the mercy seat, the altars, those special priestly garments, even the exact anointing oils and incense. Every single little detail was orchestrated by God to create this complete, holy space for his presence. So you've got all this creative energy, this divine inspiration. Everyone's ready to build. And then, bam, right at the peak of this call to work, the narrative just hits the brakes and takes this sudden, really dramatic turn. The instructions pivot from making things to something else entirely. Right after detailing this epic construction project, God completely shifts gears to something that's just as important: a covenant of rest. In Exodus chapter 31, verse 13, he commands, Verily my Sabbaths ye shall keep, for it is a sign between me and you throughout your generations. So the work is vital, yeah? But the rest is a sign of who they are. And there is absolutely no room for interpretation here. The command in Exodus chapter 31, verse 15, draws a hard line in the sand. For 6 days work may be done, but in the seventh is the Sabbath of rest, holy to the Lord. There's no ambiguity, no wiggle room, no middle ground at all. And just in case you think this is some minor detail, well, think again. The gravity of this command is just impossible to overstate. Exodus chapter 31, verse 14, attaches a life or death consequence to it, stating right there in black and white, everyone that defiles it shall surely be put to death. The message is crystal clear. This rest is just as serious as the holy work itself. But why? Why would God demand a full stop on the very project he just inspired? Why would even the holy task of building his own tabernacle have to cease? Well, the answer reveals the true, deeper meaning of the Sabbath. It is so much more than just taking a day off. The key to understanding this whole thing is the phrase perpetual covenant. As Exodus chapter 31, verse 16 explains, this isn't a temporary rule. It's a command for all generations. You can think of it like a weekly reminder, a visible sign to the whole world and to themselves of their special relationship with God. And this covenant isn't just some arbitrary rule. It's actually rooted in the very rhythm of creation itself. As Exodus chapter 31, verse 17 explains, For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, and on the seventh day he rested and was refreshed. So our human rest is patterned directly after God's divine rest. So then the chapter builds to this incredible, powerful climax. After all these spoken commands, for the intricate work and for the absolute rest, the instructions are about to be made solid, given a permanent, tangible form that's going to outlast anyone's memory. And right here is the ultimate stamp of authority. I mean, talk about a seal of approval. The chapter wraps up with this unforgettable image in verse 18 of Exodus chapter 31, and he gave unto Moses 2 tables of testimony, tables of stone, written with the finger of God. This isn't just a fleeting spoken word. This is the law etched into stone by God himself. And that brings us right back to our own lives, doesn't it? This ancient chapter leaves us with a question that feels like it could have been written this morning. In our own crazy, busy lives, full of work and projects and ambitions, how do we find that balance? How do we honor both our passion for getting things done and our deep, fundamental need for sacred, refreshing rest?